morning and welcome to the Breakfast Express show on MITV Plus. I hope your weekend was restful, peaceful, and beautiful. Well, I'm grateful to God I had a good weekend. And, coming to the studio this morning, seeing the lovely faces, seeing people like Okpeyemi, even though he's not smiling this morning, but for me, that's a huge, huge boost. So yeah, welcome to the Breakfast Express show. We're going to be having breakfast, so we're just going to invite you to come join us for breakfast. But before we do that, we would like to take, before we look at the papers, we would like to, of course, wish our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu a happy 74th birthday. In the president's message to Nigerians, he expressed gratitude for their support and goodwill messages as he marks his 74th birthday. In a special message in his commemoration of his day, the president thanked citizens for their prayers, patriotism, and solidarity, as well as individuals and groups who celebrated him through media platforms. The president also appreciated First Lady Oluremi Tinubu and Vice President Kashim Shettima for their kind words, noting that he chose to observe the occasion quietly in line with the mood of the nation, reflecting on his administration's reforms. President Tinubu acknowledged the challenges faced but said there are no signs of progress, describing the president he said there were no signs of progress, describing reflecting on his, I'll take that again, I apologize for this. Reflecting on his administration's reforms, President Tinubu acknowledged the challenges faced, but said there are signs of progress, describing current gains as a collective achievement of government and citizens. He therefore reaffirmed his commitment to overcoming national challenges and building a stronger, more prosperous Nigeria, expressing confidence that the country will achieve a brighter future with continued public support. Now to the dailies, taking a look at the front pages of the dailies this morning. Let's look at the pages of the dailies and see what they have to serve us as breakfast this morning on the Breakfast Express show. I'd like to start with The Guardian. Is that okay, Okpeyemi?
Yeah.
Or do you want to do The Guardian?
I mean, let me follow your lead. But first off, you made mention of the fact that I wasn't smiling. I got a call very late yesterday night when I started monitoring the story of the unfortunate, killing that happened in Jos yesterday night. And, I was just reading through, trying to have contact with a couple of my friends over there in Jos. And I found out that during my postgraduate, my landlord, his son was part of the people that was killed yesterday night.
Oh, wow.
As I spoke to the old man this morning, very early hours of this morning, and it's just basically we just reaching out to the government to do more. It's quite an unfortunate situation, but of course the show has to go on. They would always say. So let's run through the pages of the newspaper. It was a busy weekend, no doubt about that, with Nigeria's two major political parties, the All Progressive Congress and of course the People's Democratic Party, having their national conventions. APC's was Friday and Saturday, and of course the PDP. In the midst of all the chaos and the drama and the court cases, I mean, they were able to put up a beautiful show yesterday, typical of what we used to know PDP for. And I was a bit impressed that the likes of Gabriel Otom, the former governor of Benue State, Nyesom Wike, Bukola Saraki, Senator Anyanwu,
and then they had a show. They put up a show.
They put up a show. Trust Wike. Wike is the showman.
All right. The truth is that, well, it's not about the show really, but the results of the show and the results of the work they've put in. That's what we really, are looking forward to. So we're keeping our fingers crossed. We wish both parties and all the parties, as a matter of fact, the best of luck.
Yeah. So let's go through the pages. Maybe we should start with Guardian.
I'll be starting with the Guardian newspaper, and I usually like to look at the banner headline on the Guardian newspaper. ADC settles for consensus as PDP scouts for presidential candidate. Palm Sunday, Pope sues for global peace as Khan seeks relief for Nigerians. HEDA CSOs demand full disclosure of OPL 245 deal. Sarab flays Ibas over alleged 302 billion naira FAAC expenditure in Rivers. Senate leaders says National Assembly on track towards state police creation. But I read something on the state police creation, and I think I read something like, the total process will take about 60 months. I'm not too sure that that news was correct, but I'm like, I mean, how would you say that you're working towards ensuring that we have state police, and then you say 60 months? 60 months would almost outlive the administration, really. But I don't know if
the administration second term.
So I'm wondering to myself, is this another, is this another gimmick or what? But we really need to look at the details of this process, really, and analyze it. Okay, I'll go on. Terrorists are not prodigal sons, says Bishop, as Coas orders relentless onslaught. Discordant tunes greet APC convention as 2027 rivalries begin. Well, this is quite expected. And you see, I kind of like it when there is actually some sort of rivalry. You understand? That's what makes it more interesting, because a one-party system, is kind of too straitjacketed for this system that we run, this Nigerian system that we run. So I'm looking forward to, a lot of hula baloo, a lot of allegations, a lot of backfiring, a lot of firing, a lot of, confrontations and all of that. That's what makes the whole journey interesting. But ASU lost 5 of 10 years to strikes, says federal government. And finally, from the Guardian newspaper, concerns as hot money continues to outstrip patient capital inflow. That's it from the Guardian newspaper this morning. Would like to take a look at the Punch newspaper.
Okay, still building on the PDP convention in Abuja that was held yesterday. A very screaming banner headline, by the way, from the Punch, saying that Wike Bloc installs new National Working Committee in Abuja with the rider. FCT Minister Bauchi Governor Saraki Peazu urged reconciliation and unity amidst internal party tension. And still celebrating President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's 74th birthday, President donates salaries to wounded soldiers and families. And that's a good one. And of course, still the front page of Punch newspaper, U.S. cuts Nigerian crude imports by nearly 50%. Political titans, Dangote attend El Rufai's mother's burial. 2027, Rabiu Musa Kwakwaso joins ADC, sparks Obi alliance talk. Well, I'm sure we saw the video of the burial of the former governor, immediate past governor of Kaduna State. I saw the National Security Advisor. In situations like this, sometimes all the old political back and forth have to be thrown to one side and then, come together. So I was actually surprised when I saw, people from different political parties, different political ideologies are coming together to pay respects to, the late mother of Malam Nasir El-Rufai. The top right corner of the Punch newspaper.
Before you go on, I'm just wondering why you're surprised, because these are the kind of things that we see in Nigeria. It's even often said that Nigerians are just killing themselves. These people, they get together, irrespective of their political ideologies and parties and all of that. They get together, their friends, their brothers, their everything.
They are in-laws.
They're in-laws, they're everything that, the Nigerian out there doesn't know about. So I'm not surprised, really. I'm not surprised. I expected it, and I'm glad it did happen.
Okay, governor snub 98 billion UBEC funds despite education crisis. That's about it. Of course, a couple of pictures. APC governors visited President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for his birthday, and I think one major, factor in that, in those pictures, was the deputy governor of Lagos State, Dr. Hamzat, and the former Speaker of the House of Representatives and the current Chief of Staff to the President, Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, and they're sparking a conversation around who is the successor to the outgoing governor of Lagos State. Because everyone here, apart from these two, are actually serving governors of the All Progressive Congress. So somebody made a joke like, okay, is this a case of choosing who succeeds Governor Fashola right here? So the other picture, Governor Sanwo-Olu, I beg your pardon. And the other pictures are here as well. Some selected National Assembly leaders. I'm seeing Senator Godswill Akpabio. I'm seeing Senator Opeyemi Bamidele. I'm seeing the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Benjamin Kalu, and Senate Leader, Senator Opeyemi Bamidele, and a few of them. Of course, there's also Deputy Senate President, Senator Jibrin Barau from Kano State. All of them are, going there to celebrate President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And still on the front page of Punch newspaper, there's also a picture of the president during the 70th birthday prayer at the National Mosque yesterday as well. So, pretty packed front page for Punch newspaper. So if you want to get more of those stories, pick a copy of Punch for yourself.
Thank you very much, Opeyemi. I'd like to look at the Nation newspaper. And unlike the Punch newspaper that's really full and crowded, the Nation has just one story, and that's the banner headline. It says, Tinubu, why my celebration is subdued. That's the only story on the Nation newspaper. And we also have a full page front cover birthday greeting and felicitation from Tom Polo to the President of the Federal Republic, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That's it from the front page of the Nation newspaper. It's time for us to take a look at the Vanguard.
And that must have cost a fortune, by the way, to take over the front page of the Nation newspaper.
Well, we know that these things are nothing to them. What are you talking about? I don't get you. Why are you focusing on
no, I mean, it must have taken a lot to get all the headlines off and then have a full sponsored,
let me tell you something. But you know the Yorubas say that you need to pour water. You need to pour water on the ground so that you can step on a cool ground. Isn't that what's going to happen? Listen, this money that is spent for this front page is nothing, first of all, to him. But guess what? It's going to come back in a million-fold.
Of course.
It's an investment.
Well, on Vanguard newspaper, let's start from the top right corner. We must resist a one-party rule. Benga Hashimi is talking tough. And update on the PDP convention, wicked to defectors, we've taken back PDP. Okay. Atiku Ribadu Obi Amechi led dignitaries to burial of El-Rufai's mother as Northern governors Kano Emir mourns. Still the banner, As deadline expires tomorrow, bank recapitalization raises 4.6 trillion, sparks sectoral battle for allocation. As stakeholders expect delayed returns, urged caution, real sector-focused development. As the CPPE wants bank to channel funds to SMEs, real sector to drive economic impact. Still on the Vanguard, 2027, how Kwakwaso's defection to ADC will shape the polls. And the national spokesperson of the ADC, Malam Bolaji Abdullahi, is also talking. Obi Kwakwaso's ticket murdered as ex-Kano governor resigns from the NNPP. We're excited. Move will strengthen the opposition, that is the ADC. NNPP react. ADC working to adopt consensus option for 2027 presidential candidates. That is coming from the national spokesperson for the African Democratic Congress, that's Malam Bolaji Abdullahi. Still on the Vanguard, at 74, Nations Mood forced me to observe low-key birthday. Who is speaking? That's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, acknowledging the fact that it's not exactly where we should be. So he decided to keep his 74th birthday on a very low profile. So if you want more of those stories, the same picture was repeated as well with the progressive governors paying, respect, anniversary to the president. So let's check the Nigerian Tribune.
Okay, the Nigerian Tribune, Lamido Saraki, McAfee, Moro attend Abuja PDP convention, and the riders are Dakwambo, Natasha, and others in attendance. Makinde Bala, Oyinlola, George, Arapaja stay away. INEC's attendance proof PDP is alive. That's coming from Saraki. Return our mandate, Wike tells governors and other PDP defectors. Wike is always in the midst of, of some sort of confusion, chaos. Wike is a man that only thrives with, with a lot of trouble, challenges. He likes the heat. Some people are looking to get out of the kitchen because of the heat, but Wike wants to be where the fire actually is. I don't understand.
Wike does not just stay in the kitchen. He dictates the density of the fire. And I like that. I mean, sometimes you just need someone to spice things up a little bit. So I was surprised when I watched his speech at the convention ground yesterday, saying that defecting governors should return the mandate. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Exactly. What calling the kettle black?
The faction in the party obviously makes a good excuse for some of the governors that left. Because I remember when the Akwa Ibom State Governor, His Excellency Pastor Umoeno, was leaving the party, one of the things he said was that the faction in the PDP is disturbing. And so he doesn't want to go through the stress of campaigning and then winning an election, and then he'll be stripped of his mandate based on technical grounds. And the same thing to Fintiri of Adamawa, the same thing to Delta State Governor. All the PDP governors that left the party were citing the same reason. So, and the man in the eye of the storm, being here some week himself, see, I'm not sure we're done with the outcome of this convention. If you observe in the headline you took, some members of the PDP were actually absent at the convention.
True.
The former deputy governor of Oyo State, Arapaja, was not there. Seyi Makinde, the governor of Oyo State, was not there as well. A lot of other people, even the functional chairman, Turaki SCN, was also not there at the convention. So I'm sure that somebody will still take the outcome of this convention to court. So if Wike is saying that the defecting governor should come back, and then the standing, how long some of these cases, somebody made a joke that PDP has more cases than members now. But again, it's part of the swim, and I'm excited that at least we still have a Wike somewhere that knows how to steer the troubled waters, and then we're all back on the pages. Oh, Wike this, Wike that. But it's someone I really always like to pay attention to.
I like to pay attention to, well, I used to like to pay attention to Wike because, he used to make a lot of sense to me. But you see, I really don't like people.
His politics.
I know it's politics, but you see, sometimes, I don't know, but I think that you need to be able to walk tall. Sometimes the kind of language that Wike uses, they say Bibi Rekoshe Fora. There are certain words you would never hear me speak, neither my children nor my grandchildren. Do you know what I'm saying? Nor my parents. I mean, but the kind of words he uses is so confrontational. Listen, I think that he can get the exact results
without
without the violence, without, sometimes it just gets me, like I'm tired, I'm done. I'm done with Wike, really, But when Wike comes down and makes his point, Wike has some points, some very valid points. But when he comes from that other aggressive, I can't handle it.
Wike was someone,
and politics does not have to be like that. Let's not have the impression that politics must be like that.
I understand. Wike was someone that I picked interest in when he was chairman of Obiakpor local government, and how brash he could be sometimes when he speaks. And then when he was Minister of State, and then before he became the substantive minister, then became the governor. One thing you have to give Wike for is his consistency.
I agree.
There's barely any political gladiator in this country today that are not at one point or another cross political parties, except of course at the progressive from the Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu camp. Wike has stood with everything he feels was right with the PDP. He's never left the party. Atiku Abubakar left, the PDP came back, left again. I talked about the PDP being a thorn umbrella. Now he went back to the PDP, he's moved over to the ADC now. Peter Obi was with Abga, came into the PDP, went into Labour, now he's moved to the ADC. So if you look at that circle, Wike had maintained that level of consistency. And I think, now this is not me justifying whatever reaction he puts up, but that has been his point. He has always said that all of you that are fighting me today have left this PDP at one point or the other. And now you're back. Even Otom, a member of the G5, left the PDP, contested on the platform of the APC, won an election, left the APC, went back for a second term, and contested on the platform of the PDP. But Wike has stood from 1999 with the PDP, even though now you think he's doing PDAPC, because he's a PDP member serving in an APC cabinet. But one thing about Wike's consistency is the fact that he's never left the PDP. And he said that even when nobody was ready to fund the PDP, he was funding the PDP. He was sponsoring conventions for the People's Democratic Party. So you may want to understand where it's coming from, but I totally respect you as well. These guys are supposed to be role models. They've got young people, looking up to them, trying to, tailor their political journey towards them. So sometimes we have to, be cautious of certain languages that we use. But for Wike, it's about getting the job done.
Okay, so I'm going to say that I hear you, loud and clear, and I listen to you. You can see I always like to listen to people so that I can know how to respond. Now, I listen to you, and every single information you give me is not news. Everything you said, I know. But and I agree with you that Wike has been consistent. He has been consistently a PDP party person, okay? But has he been 100% loyal? That question I really can't answer, because Wike has his leg, his one part in the PDP, and he's dancing to the APC. Now, if that's the way politics is played, then I think a lot of other people could as well join that bandwagon, because it seems to be paying Wike off. You understand? But I respect the fact that he hasn't actually left the party, as in, resigning from the party, cross-carpeting to another,
tearing his membership
or tearing his membership card, or cross-carpeting to another party and coming back, doing all the things that politicians do. But listen to me, he's also done it. He's not totally clean. And, this is the one thing we keep saying on the breakfast shows about Wike, that he's always been the PDP. Yes, he has. But how loyal has he been to the PDP? Do you understand what I'm saying? You're a man, okay? You have a wife at home, and then you have a girlfriend, okay? Are you 100% loyal to your wife? No, you're not. But because you've not brought her home as a wife doesn't mean that she doesn't exist. Doesn't mean you're not having, a relationship with her, if you understand what I'm saying. So that loyalty is not 100% as we kind of, portray it to be, because Wike is doing the APC things. You see, so I think he's getting the best of both worlds. But guess what? So sometimes you need to take a decision to be in one place, because Wike, if he's not careful, at the end of the day, may get his hands burnt. Now, watch my language. I'm choosing my words. I said he may get his hands burnt. And that says that he could as well, just get away with it, Otherwise, he could get his fingers burnt. So he needs to be careful. He needs to take. I think Wike needs to take a stand because I don't know when Wike is. We say he's with PDP. He's been with PDP. We keep emphasizing that, but he's loyal to PDP. I don't think he is. Whether he funds PDP, whether he sponsors them, that's not important for me. The thing is that he is dealing with the APC. You can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. That's not good.
Wike is not a member of the APC. First.
Yes, I know he's not. He's not a registered member of the APC.
He said he took permission from the leadership of the PDP before he accepted the ministerial appointment from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
True.
And we've seen it before, where, people outside of the political party are, serving a different cabinet. First off, the capacity of Wike as a public servant, I'm not sure you can question it. I have a friend in Abuja that is into real estate, and he's not a fan of this administration. That's the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But he constantly says that the best thing that has happened to FCT is Wike being a minister.
No doubt.
In terms of deliverables,
no
in terms
doubt.
of infrastructures, in terms of, going back to the original master plan of Abuja. True. So when it comes to that aspect, you can't question Wike.
You can't fault him.
Prior to the 2023 election, when Wike was aspiring to be the PDP flag bearer, Wike had a major commission, a major project awaiting commission in all the local government in Rivers. I probably felt like maybe if you had picked up the ticket of the PDP, you would just be using those commissioning as campaigns. So on that space is 100% reliable. But politics. No, I'm trying to.
He's very reliable. I'm not agreeing with 100%. He's very reliable. Yeah.
I'm coming to your point.
But I'm not agreeing with your 100%.
The politics of Wike is a different kind of politics. So if it's about questioning where he stands, he has said it over and over again that he's not a member of the APC. He does not attend the convention of the APC. He does not attend the Progressive Governors Forum of the APC. He's a minister serving in the APC cabinet. And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for some whatever reason, had given Wike an opportunity to operate. I was in Abuja last year, June, and I was caught up in Wike's convoy. Wike's convoy is like a third-time governor. Wike is driving a custom-made vehicle with FCT 001 in the same city where the president stays. So that is like another governor in his own space. So if he plays his politics however he wants to play it, I think the issue of loyalty, I'm always very, very careful when we use two certain languages in Nigerian political space, loyalty and ideology. In Nigeria, you can take breakfast in PDP, enjoy a well-prepared lunch in APC, and have a sumptuous dinner in the Labour Party. So ideologies don't thrive on such narratives. Ideology basically means that this party is where I'm going to swim and sink with. We are welfareists, that's our ideology. It is about the people first. But Nigerian politicians don't have ideology. What do you mean by ideology? What? People that will win on the platform of one political party and immediately jump ship. Go and look at all the people that contested in the recently concluded FCT election. All of them are now in the All Progressive Congress. How many lawmakers have left the Labour Party in the last 18 months to join different political parties? So ideology is one thing. But Wike's school of politics, I'm not sure if that came out well. But Wike's school of politics means that do what you can to get what you want at the time you need what you want, so that the time you will be needing the outcome of what you've gotten, you will not say, I had the power. I wished I'd used this. Wike is basically a man that understands power. And he knows the value of saying, like I said, it's someone you may hate to love or someone you may love to hate, but depending on what side of Wike you align with. For me, in terms of delivering as a public servant, in terms of executing projects, making life a bit easy for the people, even in Rivers, a lot of people in Rivers will tell you that he's one of the best governors they've had in the history of the state. But in terms of his politics, you will not understand.
Okay, so much on Wike, but honestly, I just wish Wike could, better define, what this whole thing is about. If everybody played politics like that, then politics would be topsy-turvy in Nigeria. Okay, time to move on. Tinubu unveils fund for fallen wounded troops and donates salaries. Gasoline fumes may harm male fertility, and this is a study going on. Please, oh, it shouldn't harm male fertility. Oh. We already have, an issue with females. We don't want the males to be affected as well. Okay, Obi Kwakwanso to battle Atiku for ADC ticket. Ex-Kano governor resigns from NNPP and joins ADC today. Marked party denies running mate slot concession to him.
Okay,
that's it from the Tribune newspaper.
I'm sure by the end of today, the major alignment that a lot of people are looking forward to would eventually happen. Rabi Musa Kwankwaso, the leader of the Kwankwasia movement, is a major force in Nigeria's political space. Until today, is the first and the only minister of defense we have in this country without a military background. Remember, I was appointed minister of defense under our former president, Olusegun Obasanjo. So, and now, maybe at the end of today, we may have the second, third, and fourth placed candidates in the last election in the same political party. Atiku Abubakar came second in the last election. Peter Obi came third in the last election. And Rabi Musa Kwankwaso of New Nigeria's political party came fourth in the last election. So I think this is what they call a proper coalition. Yeah. It's not just an assembly of, in quotes, small political parties. We're talking about major gladiators. So
I'm actually liking this.
If at the end of today, Rabi Musa Kwankwaso officially joins the ADC, that means we'll have 6.8 million, 6.1 million, and a little over 2 million. Those are the numbers they got in the last election. 3 of them in the same political party. I'm excited towards the 2027 election.
It's looking good. It's forming,
I'm quite huge on earning whatever you get. So when we go into that election, Angela, you look at the force, whether it's consensus for vice president, for Kwankwaso, whoever stays, whoever deputizes whoever is the flag bearer, one thing is sure, there will be a proper and well-coordinated and competitive election in 2027. So, remember the build-up to 2023. There were words that Peter Obi and Kwankwaso should run a joint ticket. But Kwankwaso didn't join the then Labour Party. He remained in the NNPP, delivered Kano State, got 2 senators, got almost 90% of the House of Representatives and the Assembly. Although all the senators have gone to the APC, almost 60% of the reps members are now in the APC. But one thing is sure, these 3 people coming together will make 2027 election very interesting, depending on who gets what. And that's a fact. If there's going to be consensus for the presidential ticket, we'll wait. If vice presidential slot is what they used to lure Kwankwaso into the ADC, we'll wait. Is it going to be Obi, Kwankwaso, Atiku, Obi, Kwankwaso, Amechi, Atiku, Amechi, whatever combination the ADC is putting up to, one thing is sure, we'll have
good competition. Yes, we'll have good competition. And I thank you for that analysis, because you're like making, it's making more sense. The meaning is, quite clearer now. But one thing, you cannot predict the Nigerian politician. They may be in the APC today, but their minds are with the PDP. That's Nigerian politics for you. So you really never can tell where they really are. Because, in the past, the impression was, join the APC and all your sins are forgiven. And so, some people have just done that because they want their sins to be forgiven. They just want to have a free passage. But really and truly, their minds are somewhere else. We're not mind readers. But I know that 2027 is going to be really interesting, and it's getting interesting.
The amended Electoral Act 2026 has been a game changer. And I would actually appeal to the people to get a copy of the Electoral Act as amended, signed by the president. Because while the old drama was going on, a lot of Nigerians were quite, focused on mode of transmission of election.
Yeah.
So we ignored a whole lot of other things in the Electoral Act. In quotes, more important things in the Electoral Act. You know, build up to the 2027 election, we went into the election with over 70 political parties in this country. A whole lot of them didn't field presidential candidate, but they had candidate for other positions. In 2023, I think we had about 19. 11 of them fielded presidential candidates. In this 2027, we have two newly registered political parties. Remember the NDC, and that's the party under the leadership of the former governor of Bayelsa State, now Senator Seriake Dixon. He says he's the national leader of that particular party. So what that means is this: the coming together of all of these people, the alignments, the realignments, the, in quotes, public trust that they are building to earn, I would only mean one thing. 2027 election will not be a tea party for any of the candidates. One. Two, if at the end of the day, a lot of people that used to see political parties as SPVs, there are some political parties that they are special purpose vehicles. If you lose out in the calculation from your party, come, we give you tickets. So they usually conduct their primaries based on the timetable of INEC, but they usually have placeholders. People would win the primaries, just hold the tickets. Then someone comes and then, okay, this person is joining our party, we've given you the tickets, we've agreed. The Electoral Act 2022 has changed that game. You need to, first off, be registered from your own party, from the ward level, before you now go registered in another political party. And you may have to have, had 2 months of membership in that party before you aspire to contest on the platform of that party. What used to happen before was 1 week into being a member of the party, you become the presidential candidate, because those parties are strategically positioned and waiting for people that are disgruntled from the major political parties. All of that is not going to happen anymore. So if you lose in the calculation from your party, you don't have to stay and work for that party. If the whole condition does not suit you, you have to stay in that party, because if you leave and you were not deregistered from your party and you go to the other party, it's been criminalized 10 years for holding dual political party membership. So the politicians are re-strategizing and recalculating. Let me look before they do this primary.
Are you sure they won't find a way around?
Am I on the table? If I'm not on the table, you move.
Nigerian politicians will find I promise you, they will find a way around it. They will find a way around it. Nigerian politicians. You can never box them in. Forget it. And then again, all these things are just, to Nigerian politicians, they are just mere paperwork. Mere paperwork. The Constitution, how many of them respect the Constitution? That's supposed to be the highest binding force.
On everybody.
On everybody.
Including the president.
But how many of them respect the Constitution? Second base. Anyway, let's take a look. Are you done with the Champion?
Yeah. Okay. There's nothing on the leadership. Just the same way the nation displayed a full sponsored advertorial for the president. And from the same man, High Chief Dr. Government Owezebe Emukpolo, a.k.a. Tompolo. He has taken over the front page of leadership as well.
That's the way to go.
Okay, so let's wrap it up with Daily Sun.
The Daily Sun. Yeah. The above the nameplate, presidency, ADC fight over birthday message. Political space narrowing, hardship, insecurity worsened, says opposition party. Your message in bad taste. Presidency. Wow. APC governors consolidate grip on party machinery, and the rider is party may settle for consensus arrangements at next month's primaries. PDP, Abdulrahman Anyawu, others retain offices as Wike bloc holds convention amid legal battles. We must resist one-party rule, Benga Hashim. 74th birthday, Tinubu reaffirms commitment to national prosperity. Donate salaries to new military personnel welfare fund. Of course, we have picture stories. We have the Palm Sunday worshippers at Emmanuel Catholic Church, Nasarawa State, holding palm fronds to mark Palm Sunday. And that's, we also have another picture story, President Bola Tinubu, Deputy Senate President, Speaker, House of Representatives, Chief of Staff to the President, Yinka Tinubu, Sheyi Tinubu, and others during the 74th birthday prayers for the president at the National Mosque, Abuja, yesterday. So the last story on this newspaper, the Daily Sun, is Palm Sunday. Khan tasks leaders on empathy. Economic relief urges Nigerians not to lose hope. Well, that's a good message, talking about empathy. But I think that leadership should always, lead by example. We have a lot of Christian leaders who are not as, empathetic as we expect that they should be. They're not leading by examples. The members of the congregation will give their very last dime, to ensure that they're giving their tithes, giving their offerings, and nobody cares about where they go from there. Nobody knows if they've eaten a 3-square meal. Nobody knows how they clothe. Nobody knows, they just don't care. It's all about taking, 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 taking. I think it's supposed to be a two-way street. You give and you take. And especially when you're in an advantaged position, it's always good to look around and see who you can reach out to. Well, that's my take, and that's the way, we'll be rounding up the newspaper review this morning on the Breakfast Express on MITV Plus. We'll take a break right now, and when we return, there's more for you. Please don't go anywhere. It's still the Breakfast Express. We're still having breakfast, so we have another course to serve you. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.